Ladies and gentlemen, as President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Leicester, and by authority of the Senate and Council, I declare this congregation open. Please be seated. Distinguished guests, parents, families, and most importantly, graduates, good afternoon. We are here on a very special day, one of the most memorable of your lives, the culmination of years of education and the beginning of new careers or perhaps further study. You've worked and studied hard, and you have succeeded. You've done your job, and now, as President and Vice-Chancellor, it's my job to welcome you to this degree congregation, where we formally recognise your achievements. You're graduating from a university ranked among the top 1% worldwide, and you should be as proud of that as your assembled parents and loved ones are of you. As proud as those of us who've been charged with overseeing your research, marking your essays, or assessing your projects, and watching your thoughts evolve. As you leave, you take with you a range of skills. You can write dissertations, solve complex problems, work in teams, take on particularly testing exam questions, solve simultaneous equations, quote from philosophers. And as a result, you'll have a new set of letters to follow your name. And these will give you a greater chance of the professional life that you seek. But what you've experienced here is even deeper than that. Our purpose is to equip you not just with an education, but with something broader, with the spirit of intellectual inquiry, with a deep curiosity, and with the resilience and the resources to go out into the world and to go a long way. You have the chance to make a difference. And there are certainly some challenges ahead that your generation will have to grapple with. Climate change, population ageing, antibiotic resistance, the list goes on. Who would have guessed that just a few months ago that we would be leaving the European Union, or that Donald Trump would be in the White House, or that Leicester City would have won the Premier League? Indeed, the bookmakers certainly didn't guess. If you'd put down a £10 bet on those three outcomes, you would have stood to win £30 million. We trust that the education you've received here will make you well placed to deal with some of those challenges. Those who have taught you, some of whom are on the stage here this afternoon, are passionate about education. But they're also passionate about research, and they're world famous because of it. You'll have heard, of course, of our discovery of King Richard III under a famous Leicester City car park, a discovery that might have been worth another bet, as our archaeologists were confident before they began the work there was a 1 in a million chance that they would find the bones. Quite surprising then that the very first hole they dug in that car park revealed some bones that turned out to be Richard. But we're famous for many other advances that span the full range of academic disciplines. You may have been listening to the news today and over the last few days and realised that the University of Leicester is the only UK university involved in NASA's Juno mission, which has sent a probe 600 million miles to Jupiter to capture close-up images of the planet, described by NASA as the most difficult mission they've ever undertaken. Our geologists have discovered a 430 million year old fossil of a new species, which has been named in honour of Sir David Attenborough, who, of course, had his own childhood fossil collection right here on campus, where he grew up with his brother Richard Attenborough. Some decades ago, his father, Frederick Attenborough, was doing my job. This year, in particular, has also been one of momentous change for our university. We've launched a new business school, which will be moving into a new extension to our campus on the London Road. We've secured £15 million from the government to start building our first science park, which will be unique in the UK, focusing on the space industry. We've just established our first international campus in Panjin, China, in collaboration with Dalian University of Technology, one of the top 25 of 2,000 universities that there are in China. And the popularity of our university here in the UK continues to rise. In 2016, we saw the biggest recruitment in our history, and we're on track to beat this record again this year. Finally, I should also mention that the university is enjoying a record-breaking year of philanthropic support. We've seen an increase of between 300% and 400% in the income from philanthropy over the last year. And this compares with an average rise for universities in the UK of only 23%. These include, of course, thousands of gifts, some very small, from alumni and friends of the university. But there have also been some very significant gifts. 2.8 million for kidney research from Jimmy Mayer and his family. A recent £1 million gift from Leicester City Football Club. And another £2 million from a local charitable trust, which has allowed us to launch a foundation year for our medical degree programme. Sadly, in the UK as a whole, medical education has traditionally been seen as a career for those from privileged backgrounds. 80% of medical students come from only 20% of the schools in the UK. 1/4 of medical students come from private schools, and 50% of secondary schools have never had a pupil apply for medical school. We want to change this. There are bright children everywhere, even if their schooling has not provided them with the grades or the ambition to aspire to the medical profession. This gift will bring children selected from these schools to the university to study a foundation year, which will prepare them for entry into the full medical programme. Children and families who probably never imagined that they would have a chance to study medicine at university. As you can tell, much is changing here at the university, and we hope that you'll continue to keep an eye on what's going on. You're graduating at a particularly exciting time as we look to the university's centenary. We'll commemorate this between 2018 and 2021. It was in 1918, just about 100 years ago, following the dark years of World War I, that local residents in the city decided that they wanted to create a living memorial to those who had fallen. We're the only university in the UK and one of only 2 in the world that were established in this way. And it's reflected in our motto, Ut vitam habeant, that they may have life. It was in 1921 that the first students were taken into this university, and a few years later, all 9 of them graduated. Things have certainly moved on. This week, we will see over 3,500 students crossing this stage to graduate this year. For all of you who are graduating today, I hope that you'll be proud of your university and that you'll remember and reflect on its beginnings. There will inevitably be ups and downs in the years ahead, but if we've done our job right, if we've equipped you with the right skills and with the values of our university, you will find your way through. We fully expect to be as proud of you in the future as we are today. I congratulate you on the degrees you've obtained, and on behalf of the University of Leicester, I wish you every success. Well done.
Will all graduates please stand?
By the authority of Senate, I admit candidates both present and absent for the several degrees for which they are presented. Please be seated.
Vice-Chancellor, as Head of the College of Social Sciences, Arts and Humanities, I present the following candidates for their degrees. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Olukorede Abiona.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Eric Akobeng.
Well done, Eric. Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Sarah Alizadeh Miandoab.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Rika Doos.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
David Fletcher.
Well done, David. Congratulations.
Sneha Guddam.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Nameen Harb.
Congratulations, Nameen. Well done.
Laura Knight.
Congratulations, Laura. Well done.
Nicholas Kodoyanis.
Well done, Nicholas. Congratulations.
Lee Lin.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Mate Marton Ratz.
Congratulations. Well done.
Michael Wheatst.
Well done, Michael. Congratulations. Well done.
Guang Yi Chin.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Saeed Haider Ali Zaidi.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
For the degree of Doctor of Social Science, Helen Askey.
Well done, Helen. Congratulations. Well done.
Carsten Jensen.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Robert King.
Well done, Robert. Congratulations. Well done.
Maria Lashley.
Congratulations. Well done.
Deborah McDermott.
Well done, Deborah. Congratulations.
Perihan Yavesh.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Philosophy, Alina Zulieva.
Congratulations, Alina. Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Research in Labour Market Studies, Colin Linton.
Congratulations, Colin. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Uluma Abalogu.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
David Abodo.
Nice chair there, David. Well done.
Kamal Abouraida.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Adewale Adebanjo.
Congratulations. Well done.
Deborah Agiemfra.
Well done, Deborah. Congratulations. Well done.
Adeniki Ajayi.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Oluwakemi Akinsinda.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Mayes Alfani.
Congratulations. Well done.
Muhi Alden.
Congratulations. Well done.
Rayed Al-Faraj.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ahmed Al-Ghanadi.
Well done. Congratulations, Ahmed.
Mohammed Al-Jameya.
Congratulations, Mohammed. Well done.
Graham Allett.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Allah Al-Mahamid.
Congratulations. Well done.
Mustafa Al-Kozaz.
Well done, Mr. Congratulations.
Amir Sudani.
Congratulations. Well done.
Muthana Amro.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lloyd Anobil.
Well done, Lloyd. Congratulations.
Bassem Attia.
Congratulations. Well done.
Linda Osakra.
Well done, Linda. Congratulations.
Antranik Al-Waziam.
Congratulations. Well done.
Fard Bagoza.
Congratulations. Well done.
Boyd Banda.
Well done. Congratulations.
Mariam Bayi.
Well done, Marianne. Congratulations. Well done.
Lena Beshlian.
Well done, Lena. Congratulations.
Yasir Bodkani.
Congratulations. Well done.
Umlanzini Boyce.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Eduardo Jesus Cuecho Cherini.
Well done, Eduardo. Congratulations. Well done.
Gift Chikwendu.
Well done. Congratulations. Well done.
George Christou.
Well done, George. Congratulations.
Mary Akweli Kobla.
Congratulations. Well done.
William Cunningham.
Well done, William. Congratulations.
Mohammed Darwish.
Congratulations. Well done.
Jawule Davis.
Good nice to hear. Well done. Well done.
Jane Duroha.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ahmed Al Kashab.
Well done, Ahmed. Well done.
May El Kashawi.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ahmed El Sheikh.
Well done, Ahmed. Congratulations.
Jolene El Ware.
Well done, Jolene. Congratulations. Well done.
Olulade Fadumila.
Congratulations. Well done.
Anne-Marie Fisher.
Well done, Anne-Marie. Congratulations.
Ramsey Gamachi.
You did share, Angie. Well done.
Joseph Gachana.
Well done, Joseph. Congratulations.
John Gitagia.
Well done, John. Congratulations. Well done.
Chamindra Gunawardena.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Andre Grima.
Well done, Andre. Congratulations.
Ahmed Hadhoud.
Well done, Ahmed. Congratulations.
Omar Halwani.
Well done, Ahmed. Congratulations. Well done.
Ranesh Handuneti Ranula.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Walid Almadi.
Congratulations. Well done.
Vanessa Hay.
Well done, Vanessa. Congratulations.
Muga Sinem Hooper.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Kevin Michael Hoy.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Hussein Fahmy.
Well done, Hussein. Congratulations.
El Sayed Ismail.
Congratulations. Well done.
Alexandra Ihechera.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Maria Ianu.
Well done, Maria. Congratulations. Well done.
Mohammed Jassim.
Well done, Mohammed. Well done.
Anil Jahumat.
Well done, Anil. Congratulations.
Mary Kai.
Well done, Mary. Congratulations.
Rabi Kalash.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Mohammed Anwar Kassas.
Congratulations, Mohammed. Congratulations. Well done.
Marwan Khamis.
Congratulations. Well done.
Lydia Kibara.
Well done, Lydia. Congratulations.
Danushka Kodi Tawaku.
Congratulations. Well done.
Kahadawa Kumara Singha.
Congratulations. Well done.
Esther Kwanzaa.
Well done, Esther. Congratulations. Well done.
Mark Lambert.
Well done, Mark. Congratulations.
Rosie Leach.
Well done, Rosie. Congratulations. Well done.
Gisemi Liaupi.
Congratulations. Well done.
David Loveday.
Well done, David. Congratulations.
Mukasa Lutalo,
Congratulations. Well done.
Bwalia Luando,
Congratulations. Well done.
Irene Njeri Makumu,
Congratulations. Well done.
Rami Masood,
Congratulations. Well done.
Ahmed Matwali,
Well done, Ahmed. Congratulations.
Julian Mulaweyi Kasonga,
Well done, Julian. Congratulations. Well done.
Miliswa Mvoko,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Cynthia Mwila,
Well done, Cynthia. Congratulations.
Regai Ngwenya,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Jasmine Nielsen,
Well done, Jasmine. Congratulations.
Hope Nyagomore,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Derek Nwakupinda,
Well done, Derek. Congratulations.
Oluyemisi Ogbaro,
Congratulations. Well done.
Oluwakemi Ganiat Akinsinde.
Congratulations. Well done.
Ogar, sorry. Kehinde Oke,
Congratulations. Well done.
Ayodele Olunloyo,
Congratulations. Well done.
Temitope Onamede,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Gifty Adom Ochiri Mensa,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Adwoa Owusu Abrokwa,
Of course you can. Congratulations. Well done.
Daniel Papka,
Well done, Daniel. Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Stephanie Payro,
Well done, Stephanie. Congratulations. Well done.
Tishan Priyankara Maitri Widanga,
Congratulations. Well done.
Jason Rigby,
Well done, Jason. Congratulations.
Graham Rivers Brown,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Susan Margaret Rivers Brown,
Well done. Congratulations. Well done.
Ioannis Savidis,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Kassan Alaka Selahewa,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Bindu Sharma,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
David Simon,
Well done, David. Congratulations. Well done.
Josephine Simuyandi,
Well done, Josephine. Congratulations.
Namposia Simwanza,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Christopher Slocum,
Well done, Christopher. Congratulations.
Rui Sondia,
Congratulations. Well done.
Keith Spiteri,
Congratulations, Keith. Well done.
Ian Surtees,
Congratulations, Ian. Well done.
Lorraine Templeman,
Congratulations, Lorraine. Well done.
Lucas Theodoru,
Well done, Lucas. Congratulations. Well done.
Stephen Turner,
Well done, Stephen. Congratulations.
Kingsley Uka,
Well done, Kingsley. Congratulations.
Mariam Umar,
Well done, Marianne. Congratulations.
Zainab Umara,
Well done, Zainab. Congratulations. Well done.
Asen Vasilev,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Bojan Vukovic,
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
Ian Wanga,
Congratulations, Ian. Well done.
Yaman Walid Zanaji.
Congratulations. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Business Analysis and Finance, Hassan Al-Lawati.
Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Clinical Criminology, Chinelo Zita Ebunam.
Well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Criminology and Criminal Justice, Jonathan Amos.
Congratulations, Jonathan. Well done.
Vanessa Day.
Well done, Vanessa. Congratulations.
Emily Grace.
Well done, Emily. Good cheer there.
If you seek his monument, look around you. That tribute to Sir Christopher Wren in the dome of St Paul's Cathedral might equally be applied to Chas Bishop in the planetarium dome of the National Space Centre here in Leicester. The National Space Centre, a Millennium flagship development, opened in 2001 with Chas Bishop as its chief executive. He had been appointed 2 years earlier as Marketing and Operations Director with the intention that he would take charge when the magnificent building with its eye-catching rocket tower opened. If there is a graduating student in the hall today who has not visited the National Space Centre, then you have not made good use of your time here. But for those with an excuse, the centre is a visitor attraction designed both to entertain and to inform. It inspires interest in space and helps develop the next generation of scientists and engineers by building on that enthusiasm. These were the ambitions of the University of Leicester, with its superb reputation for space science, when it had the vision for the centre. And the university, assisted by the council and local businessmen, was the driving force behind the bid for Millennium funding. But universities, whatever their strengths, are not naturally suited to running visitor attractions. The Space Centre was set up as a charity and needed a chief executive with a rare combination of abilities. One who understood the leisure and entertainment industries and was able to achieve financial targets, and who could do so while meeting the educational objectives. In Chas Bishop, the trustees found just such a rarity. Chas studied natural environment science at Sheffield, having spent many childhood holidays in the Lake District, and initially envisaged a career in conservation. This led to the idea of a master's course in leisure management, but not wanting to depend on the bank of mum and dad, he obtained sponsorship from a visitor attractions company on condition that he joined them as a management trainee. This was a turning point. He went on to business development roles at Madame Tussauds, Alton Towers, and then the American Adventure theme park in Derbyshire, establishing himself as a rising star in this competitive industry. The fact that American Adventure, once immensely popular, is no more, is evidence of the commercial fragility of the visitor attraction industry and the necessity of keeping the experience fresh. The £52 million capital cost of the National Space Centre came from the National Lottery and donations in cash and in kind, but it has to meet its own running costs, mainly from entry charges. This is no easy feat. All Millennium projects enjoyed a honeymoon period. Several have not survived. Chas admits that there were perilous moments. Levels of visitor approval have always been high, but that did not automatically translate into income. He recalls the occasion when, to manage a tricky cash flow situation, the senior management had to be paid by cheque rather than directly into their bank accounts. Those days are long gone, and the success of the centre is reflected in annual visitor numbers of 325,000, including nearly 100,000 in school groups. There is buoyant conference and function trade. The centre employs some 200 people and makes a significant contribution to the local economy. For several years, a healthy surplus has made it possible to invest in new content and refurbishment. Indeed, such has been the success that one of Chaz's biggest concerns is ability to cope with the demand. Part of his business philosophy is to recruit great people, so Chaz will undoubtedly give the credit for these achievements to his team. But those who have worked with him over the past 17 years know that his leadership and imagination, as well as considerable negotiating skills, have been essential to the success of the centre. Chaz does not pretend to be a space expert, and there was a moment when he considered withdrawing his application, fearing that he lacked the scientific background. Fortunately, an emergency meeting with the then chairman and chief executive put paid to that moment of self-doubt. He has since demonstrated the much more valuable talent of helping the scientists to explain themselves to the rest of us. Chaz is justifiably proud of two initiatives under his direction, which could not have been foreseen in 2001. The creative division makes the exciting shows for the planetarium, and such is the team's artistic and technical ability that NSC Creative has become the largest distributor and producer of planetarium shows worldwide. In parallel, the National Space Academy has taken the centre's educational mission first to schools and colleges in this region, then nationwide and overseas, and finally into space itself, when Tim Peake delivered the Academy's experiments from the International Space Station. The Academy has improved student attainment in the sciences, helped teachers, and boosted the flow of young people into relevant areas of study and work. There have been many challenges along the way. Even the title, National Space Centre, encountered resistance. From the academic side, for not including the word science, and from government quarters for including the word national. Navigating such pressures with courtesy and determination is typical of Chaz. His business success is built not on aggression, but on reason, persuasion, research, his thorough likability, and his sense of humour. But even Chaz's calm demeanour was tested a couple of years ago when he visited a small but prosperous kingdom in the Gulf to sign a £1 million contract, only to be told by its ruler that he was too young to do so. It took a letter from the chairman of the trustees to vouch for Chaz's maturity. Here, however, there is no question that Chaz has a very wise head on his still relatively young shoulders. He is chairman of the UK Association of Science and Discovery Centres and of Leicestershire Promotions, a trustee of the Richard III Visitor Centre, has chaired East Midlands Tourism, and has influenced the UK innovation and growth strategy for space. His energy seems to know no bounds, and he is devoting some of that energy to working with the university to establish the space park mentioned by the Vice-Chancellor, a major development for innovation in space research and the UK space industry, close to the National Space Centre. Mr. President and Vice-Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Council and the Senate, I present Charles St. Hill Bishop that you may confer upon him the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Laws.
Congratulations, well done, Chaz. Congratulations, well deserved, mate. Well done. Well done.
President and Vice-Chancellor, Lord Lieutenants, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if it's the done thing on these occasions to unmask one's orator, but I'm going to. Nigel Seasars was one of the first 3 people to put pen to paper and write the plan for the National Space Centre back in 1994, and 23 years later is part of the team that is building Space Park Leicester. Now, in the meantime, I've had the privilege to work with so many brilliant scientists. I can't list them all, but can you indulge me if I just mention the names? Ken Pounds, Alan Wells, Martin Barstow, Emma Bunce, Paul Monks, and George Fraser. And of course, Mark Sims, who was responsible for spoiling Christmas in 2003 when the Beagle 2 spacecraft failed to announce its arrival on the Martian surface. And I turned up for lunch in Yorkshire to be told with some relish that it was another great space failure for Lancashire. Now, there are some, I suspect, of course there was 12 years later, very different atmosphere in the room. It's the Royal Society. We had a press conference where Mark was able to demonstrate Beagle 2, photographic evidence, sitting on Mars, 3 of its 4 solar panels unfurled, just one stubbornly refusing to unfurl and blocking the signal from the antenna. What the university achieved in that mission was extraordinary. And yet I sense unfinished business. And over the next few years, there are missions back to Mars, to Mercury, to Jupiter. There's instrumentation on the James Webb Space Telescope. We look forward to telling your stories. Now, space missions are always international affairs, and I'm very proud of the work we do overseas. Currently, we've got commissions in the US, in China, in the Middle East. Most have gone very well, not all of them. We've heard about one. A second one was for the ruling Mubarak family in Egypt. Could we make a planetarium show about the history of Egypt? 1 hour, they insisted, the leading lady insisted, a 1 hour show for 11-year-olds, despite our advice that 20 minutes is quite enough for 11-year-olds, but she insisted. Now, all of our communication was via the general. Communication with the general got less and less frequent as the Arab Spring progressed, until a final telephone conversation when our producer insisted he could hear shouting and perhaps muffled gunfire in the background. The end of the regime, perhaps, or maybe the 11-year-olds of Egypt hearing about the prospect of a 1 hour planetarium show about the history of their country and taking matters into their own hands. Now, it's really easy to get overexcited about our overseas work, but we must not take our eye off what's happening domestically and about the development of the National Space Centre itself. I've actually worked at 6 visitor attractions. Only 3 of those 6 still exist, and that's about the industry standard. So there's a common thread to those that have failed, which is complacency and lack of investment. So we must keep listening to our visitors, spending money on the product, and developing what we have. Thankfully, space has a very rich seam to mine. We have the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landings in 2019. We have the prospect of a Tim Peake second mission, maybe sometime around 2020. We have ongoing testing of the Orion craft, maybe the long-duration spacecraft, which takes us one day to Mars. And just the tantalizing prospect of finding life elsewhere in the universe. Now, I did have a wobble. We heard about that after first interview, I am indebted to John Eggleston and Keith Beaumont, who met me somewhere on the M1, I think, to convince me to reconsider. I had been grilled by the scientists, and there was a story that I didn't tell them in an interview, and I think you'll understand why. I once had to prioritise between a rugby match against the University of Leeds and a microbiology practical. So, of course, I played rugby on the basis that I turned up on the Friday morning to do the practical on my own. 3 hours, 2 jars, 1 microscope. So, first jar, I pipetted onto the slide, twiddled with the lens, nothing. I twiddled a bit more, nothing. But then, interview a stick insect. Terrific, I thought, I can do stick insects. And I proceeded to draw the most magnificent stick insect. I gave it reproductive organs, I gave it digestive tract, I gave it an anus. Sorry, Lady Gretton, but I did give it an anus. And after 1.5 hours, I thought, this cannot be bettered. So I moved on to the second slide. A worm. I thought, terrific, I can do worms. I gave it a digestive tract, I gave it reproductive organs, I gave it an anus, all drawn to scale. And at the end of 3 hours, I thought, my work is done, I can't better this. Professor Reed came over. He said, what the hell have you drawn here? Well, I said, it's a stick insect and a worm. He said, let's have a look. He looked down the microscope. He said, right, with the first one, you've wound the lens down so far that you've cracked the slide and you've drawn the crack. With the second one, you've got a hair trapped under your cover slide. You've drawn the hair. I admire your enthusiasm, but I have no option but to give you 0%. Now, I was able to take the positives out of this. 1, we'd beaten Leeds at rugby, and 2, I had enthusiasm. Now, I know exactly where I get this enthusiasm from. It is often said of my mother that her glass is neither half empty nor half full, but constantly flowing over. My father is enthusiastic about everything as long as there is a ball involved at some stage. And Amanda, Janet and Rodney, enthusiastic about everything as long as it's invented in, made in, or qualified to play for Yorkshire. I thank you very much indeed for joining me today. Thank you to the National Space Centre team, represented today by Chairman past and present Philip Hammersley and Mike Kapoor. Thank you to the University for this wonderful honour. And to graduates, congratulations and very best of luck in what you do next. I'm sure you'll all go an awful long way with your talent and your self-confidence. But if you're worried that you have neither, I thoroughly recommend enthusiasm. Thank you very much indeed.
The University Chamber Choir conductor Roxy Summerfield will now sing Ave Verum by Sanson. The words have been said to give you a glimpse of heaven.
There
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, for the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Parkofi and Kumar.
Congratulations.
Amar Benassi.
Congratulations.
Stephanie Quasar.
Well done, Stephanie.
Akim Galloway.
Akim, congratulations.
Mario Kempf.
Mario, congratulations.
Charles Musioka.
Charles, many congratulations.
Tarirayi Anhaga.
Many congratulations.
Phillips Olufinshawe.
Congratulations.
Thomas Quinn.
Yes, well done, congratulations.
Marie Cecile Rodrigo.
Lisa, well done, congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Financial Economics, Adama Lewis. You're not Adama Lewis, are you? For the degree of Master of Science in Human Resource Management and Training, Manuel Agostino Balthazar.
Congratulations, Manuel, congratulations.
Yi Chu Cheng.
Congratulations, well done.
Wen Day.
Congratulations, well done.
Adaora Azioma Ehiemo.
Laura, congratulations, well done.
Hanya Elgitani.
Anya, well done.
Bernadette Grima.
Well done, Bernadette, congratulations.
Jareth Grima.
Congratulations.
Lakshmi Manon.
Congratulations, Austin.
Siyu Liu.
Well done, congratulations.
Rebecca Njaroga.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
Augusta Nkem Okpunu.
Congratulations, Augusta.
Lovelyn Okwara.
Congratulations, Ellen.
Ameni Rashwan.
Many congratulations.
Vicky Rittinghouse.
Well done, Vicky, congratulations.
Maria Vanina Rocheri.
Congratulations, Maria, well done.
Anne Usiagu.
Congratulations, well done.
Halima Sadia Yakubu.
Lina, well done, congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science, Industrial Relations and Workplace Learning, Shamila Fassel.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Management, Habiba Aminu.
Well done, Habib.
Binetu Bamba.
Well done, congratulations.
Jessica Dior.
Jessica, congratulations.
Ida Rimash.
Congratulations, Ida.
Shamini Salvanathan.
Shamini, well done.
Shyamini Sam.
Many congratulations.
Farida Soliman.
Very well done, congratulations.
Feng Yun Wang.
Well done, congratulations.
Kukule Wijayara Rathna.
Well done, congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Management, Finance and Accounting, Zhen Wang.
Jen, congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Marketing, Nora Valerieva Fairweather.
Nora, well done, congratulations.
Korakoch Kongung Pai.
Congratulations, well done.
Philip Lang.
Congratulations, Philip.
Yun Lun Peng.
Congratulations, well done.
Maria Luisa Perez Zapata.
Maria, well done, congratulations.
Andrea Elinka Popescu.
Very well done.
Aston Price.
Congratulations, Aston.
For the degree of Master of Science in Performance Management and Workplace Learning, Ahmed Bashir Abdul Hadi.
Ahmed, congratulations.
Ririn Atmalia.
Congratulations, Ria.
Yun Shi.
Many congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Risk, Crisis and Disaster Management, Westley Adams.
Wesley, congratulations.
Bawani Bundun.
Congratulations, everyone.
Stanley Cheong.
Congratulations, Stanley.
Tinos Dube.
Congratulations, Stanley.
Alan Riley.
Aaron, congratulations.
Khalifa Thaloob.
Khalifa, well done.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Risk Management, Gerard Haggerty.
Jared, congratulations.
Volker Jacobs.
Volker, congratulations.
Christopher Johnston.
Congratulations, Christopher.
Chernor Kamara.
Emma, congratulations.
For the posthumous award of Master of Science in Security and Risk Management, Maxwell Mahama, received by his mother. For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Risk Management, Martin Stairs.
Congratulations, Martin.
Krista Unfried.
Well done, Christopher, congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Terrorism, Security and Policing, Madibuba Ehenacho.
Congratulations.
Nohayati Mohammed.
Congratulations, well done.
For the degree of Postgraduate Diploma in Business Administration, Nan Chiang.
Congratulations, well done.
For the degree of Postgraduate Diploma in Terrorism, Security and Policing, Voke Oyaye.
Okay, well done.
For the degree of Postgraduate Certificate in Business Administration, Hussam Abaji.
Congratulations.
Alam Abdadi.
Alam, congratulations.
For the degree of Postgraduate Certificate in Finance, Emmanuel Quartin.
Emmanuel, well done.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Criminology, Laura Allen.
Congratulations, Laura.
Stephanie Archer.
Stephanie, well done.
Samuel Bowley.
Samuel, well done.
Rebecca Boyle.
Congratulations, Rebecca.
Charlotte Brindley.
Well done, Charlotte, congratulations.
Sky Burke.
Congratulations, Sky.
Emily Burrow.
Well done, Emily.
Manpreet Chana.
Well done, congratulations.
Alistair Crisp.
Alistair, well done.
Stacey Dearden.
Well done, Stacey.
Elizabeth Dowsett.
Well done, Elizabeth.
Maria Dumitrescu.
Congratulations, Maria.
Christopher Dwerryhouse.
Well done, Christopher.
Errol Ertakinoglu.
Congratulations, Errol.
Jade Fackrell.
Congratulations, Jake.
Haji Fall.
Well done, Haji.
Alice Foster.
Well done, Alice. Congratulations.
Paige Fox.
Paige, congratulations.
Chloe Freeman.
Chloe, well done.
Helena Garnett.
Congratulations, Elena.
Georgina Greensmith.
Congratulations, Georgina.
Neela Guiste.
Nina, congratulations.
Lucy Hatton.
You shake hands, Lucy. Well done. Congratulations.
Joe Hayes.
Congratulations, Joe.
Thomas Hayes.
Congratulations, Thomas.
Alex Howell.
Congratulations, Alex.
Bethany Humphreys.
Congratulations, Bethany.
Stuart Jones.
Stuart, well done. Congratulations.
Sandeep Kelsey.
Well done, Sandy.
Darren Kara.
Well done, Dylan. Congratulations.
Tony Keel.
Well done, Tony. Congratulations.
Charlie McCallan.
Charlie, congratulations.
Lauren McSpadden.
Lauren, congratulations.
Emily Minton.
Well done, Emily. Congratulations.
Hannah Moberly.
Congratulations, Anna.
Francis Payne.
Well done, Francis.
Aliyah Pettit.
Yeah, well done. Congratulations.
Hayley Petts.
Congratulations, Haley.
Sarah Jane Poulton.
Sarah Jane. Congratulations.
Elise Pratt.
Congratulations.
Thomas Riley.
Congratulations, Thomas.
Hannah Sheldrake.
Hannah, congratulations.
Chelsea Stanyard.
Congratulations, Chelsea.
Georgina Stratton.
Congratulations, Georgina.
Olivia Taylor.
Well done, Olivia. Congratulations.
Chloe Tedds.
Well done, Chloe.
Emily Wertons.
Congratulations, Emily.
Cara Wilcock.
Congratulations, Cara.
Stacey Williams Gordon.
Congratulations, Stacey. Congratulations.
Katie Wynn.
Well done, Katie. Congratulations.
Camila Idirisbaeva.
Well done. Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Criminology with a year abroad, Connor Bradley.
Congratulations, Connor.
Dwayne Giltrap.
Congratulations, Ben.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Humanities and Arts, Bronte Laura Dawson.
Congratulations.
Penelope Immins.
Well done, Penelope. Congratulations.
Linda Moore.
Linda, congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Security and Risk Management, Funzo Akintokun.
Also, congratulations.
Raymond Enabi.
Well done, Raymond. Congratulations.
Anthony Petrolakis.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Paolo Simeonito.
Paolo, congratulations.
Wojtek Vohanka.
Congratulations.
For the Arts Foundation degree in Drug and Alcohol Counselling, Heidi Cresswell.
Well done, Heidi. Congratulations.
For the Arts Foundation degree in Drug and Alcohol Counselling and Treatment, Emma Ullman.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Elmo. Well done.
Edward Besley.
Very good. Congratulations. Well done.
Colin Brownjohn.
Colin, well done. Congratulations.
Lucy Burgess.
Lucy, congratulations. Well done.
Joan Danio.
Joan, congratulations.
Debbie Fairley.
Debbie, congratulations. Well done.
Boyd Field.
Congratulations. Well done.
Kieran Grant.
Kieran, well done. Congratulations.
Louisa Howells.
Congratulations, Louisa.
Kay Kimberley.
Hey, congratulations.
Mandy Lee.
Mandy, well done. Congratulations.
Heidi Marshall.
Heidi, congratulations.
Alison Payne.
Alison, congratulations.
Heather Phillips.
Heather, congratulations.
Nicholas Shepley.
Congratulations.
Penelope Shepherd.
Congratulations.
Marcus Standeven.
Marcus, well done. Congratulations.
For the Arts Foundation degree in Integrative Counselling, Veena Radia.
Well done, Veena. Congratulations.
For the Arts Foundation degree in Managing Voluntary and Community Organisations, Michelle Walsma.
Michelle, congratulations.
For the Arts Foundation degree in Security and Risk Management, Stephen Keegan.
Congratulations, Stephen.
Anna Morby.
Oh, well done. Congratulations.
For the Certificate of Higher Education in Managing Voluntary and Community Organisations, Abdullahi Weheliye.
Congratulations, Abdullahi.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Hidayat Kislali.
Congratulations, Hidayat.
For the degree of Doctor of Social Science, Stephen O.J.
And congratulations, Stephen.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Fatima Baba Kenchi.
Fatima, congratulations.
Ibrahim Al-Sharafi. For the degree of Master of Science in Management, Jane Frances Ikenga Metu.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Financial Economics, Adama Lewis.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Criminology, Skye Burke.
Well done, Sky. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, congratulations. Ceremonies like these have been performed by universities across the world for centuries, and it will be a milestone that marks a new chapter in your lives. Today, you enter the worldwide community of more than 180,000 Leicester alumni, and your continuing success in years to come will give us occasion for pride and celebration. Enjoy the rest of this memorable day, for which we up here on stage are honoured to have been a part of. Carry the pride of Leicester with you. Well done. I declare this congregation closed.